Patient number 15. Patient number
Yes,
15.
ma'am.
Ay. Patient number 15, sir, no? Sige,
Opo,
sir.
ma'am.
Proceed lang ta sa room 8, sir, ha?
Sige po.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Ako ay si Zyril Mariar Sembrano. I am your rad tech for this morning. Hi, sir. Mga paano lang po, sir, if makasabot ba kag Bisaya, English, or unsa man imong language preference, sir?
Mas maigi po Tagalog na lang po para mag-intindihan tayo.
Sige, sir. Tagalog, sir. Okay, sir. Magtanong ako, sir, ha? Anong pangalan natin, sir?
Vince Ayan, B2B.
Birthday po.
October 18, 1997.
1997. Okay. Edad po natin, sir?
23.
23. Okay, sir. Pwede ko po hingin yung ano niyo po, x-ray request po ni Doc. Ito. Sige, sir. Nag-request si Doc ng forearm. Bakit pala, sir? Ano pong nangyari sa kamay niyo po?
Nadapa pa ako sa sito ko yung tubig ko sa pagkaroon ng balik.
Sige, sir. Saan lang natin siya, sir? Kaya pag makauwi ka na, kaya masakit ba yan? Tapos, magbihis ka lang doon, sir, ha? May fitting room tayo doon. Tapos, balik ka lang dito. May, bigyan kita ng patient gown, sir. Tapos, mag-start na tayo, sir, ha? Thank you.
Tapos na pa ako nagbihis.
Sir, natanggal mo naman ang lahat ng metallic objects, sir. Mga ahitos, quintas.
Po.
Ahilo, sir.
Wala na
Sising.
po.
Sige, sir. Mag-start na tayo ng procedure natin, sir, ha? Upo ka lang dito, sir. Saan gani yung ano mo, sir?
Dito.
Ito, yan. Sige.
The IR will be 14 by 17 with SID of 40 inches. Do not forget the shielding for the patient. Sit patient at the end of the table with hand and arm fully extended, palm up.
Ito nga na po, ano, sir? Shielding, sir, ha? Okay lang, sir. Gulitan kita, sir, ha? Sir, comfortable lang ka, sir. Sir, okay man ka, sir, no?
Central ray should be perpendicular to the IR, directed to the mid forearm. Collimate to the lateral borders to the actual forearm area, but with minimal collimation at both ends to avoid cutting off anatomy at either joint. Do not forget to put the marker at the lateral side of the anatomy.
Assuming that this is the collimator, and the central ray will be at the middle of forearm. Collimate from the wrist bones up to the distal humerus, or the collimate on the four sides, and do not forget to put the marker on the lateral side. Then shoot.
For the anatomy shown, the entire radius and ulna is shown with the minimum of proximal row of the carpals or the wrist joints and the distal humerus, as well as the pertinent soft tissues such as fat pads and stripes of the wrist and elbow joints. Then for the evaluation criteria, optimal density and contrast with no motion should be visualized, and the soft tissue and the sharp cortical margins and body with bony trabecular markings. Magbutang kog lead shield, sir, ha? Change the position of the IR in division and aft. Then, put the shoulder of the patient or the entire upper limb on the same horizontal plane. Align and center forearm to the long axis of the IR and ensure that both wrist and elbow joints are included in the IR. Rotate the hand and wrist into true lateral position and support it to prevent motion. For the collimation, you have to collimate both lateral borders to the actual forearm Then collimate at the both ends to avoid cutting off anatomy. Then you have to ensure that the distal wrist and the elbow joints is included to the eye. Central rays should be perpendicular to the eye are directed to the mid forearm. Do not forget the marker. The anatomy demonstrated will be the entire radius and ulna, the proximal row of carpal bones, the elbow, and the distal end of the humerus. Then, for the evaluation criteria, the optimal density and contrast with no motion should visualize the sharp cortical margins and clear, sharp bony trabecular markings as well as fat pads and stripes of the wrist and elbow bone.
Sir, tapos na po tayo sa procedure natin ngayon. So, pwede ka na po magbihis doon, sir, sa bisanan natin, sir, para balik ka dito sa akin, tapos instructionan kita regarding sa result mo, sir, ha? So, sir, tapos na tayo na, sir. Salamat ka. Salamat po. Tapos, sir, balik ka dito after 2 to 3 hours po para kunin yung result mo, sir. Tapos, pakita mo lang yung resibo mo, sir. Opo. Salamat, sir. Sige po, ingat po.